In Los Angeles, California, in the Grand Courthouse, there was Beth Silverman who had popped up. And basically, they knew not what she was doing, but it looked like, yeah, she was ready for business. Roll it.
About walking into court today. Can you tell us anything about where you are in the case? Why is Neo being called as a witness? Why hasn't David been arrested, or where's David at? Can you tell us anything?
Birdman hands, bang! Before we move on, here's something you can do and get paid for. This is called free cash. Free cash is number 2 on the Apple Store and pays you to play games. You can make $500 plus a month by playing games for free. Use my QR code or the link in the description to get $5 when you download and sign up for free. Download and get paid on your phone and start playing. Somebody must have tipped off TMZ because today they caught the boy, Neo Langston. And let me just say, for 30, 40 minutes, he was up there. And I want y'all to look at his demeanor the whole entire time. You might notice something that I didn't notice.
Why are you being called to testify today? How did everything go in there? Why were you avoiding testifying? Do you think David is innocent? Is there anything you want to tell the public about the David case? Anything?
Exclusive. David's friend Neo appears before a grand jury in Rivas' case. David's friend Neo Langston finally went in front of a grand jury after being arrested in Montana for failing to appear as a witness. Neo showed up Wednesday to a Los Angeles courthouse where a grand jury has been convened since November to gather information on the death of Celeste Rivas, whose dismembered corpse was found last September inside David's Tesla in Hollywood. We got Neo on his way out of the courthouse, and he was mum as our photograph peppered him with questions. We caught up with Beth Silverman, the deputy DA presenting the case in Los Angeles, on her way into the courthouse. Neo was in front of the grand jury for about 30 to 40 minutes, and he has since left the courtroom, presumably left California, Given Neo's friendship with David, who is a suspect in Celeste's murder, it's surprising Silverman spent only 40 minutes with him. The prosecutor has been aggressive with questioning witnesses. TMZ broke the story. Neo, a popular streamer, was cuffed by a small army of cops in Helena, Montana, after an LA judge signed off on an arrest warrant. Neo, who had been squirreled away at his mom's house, was then transported to LA and booked in the LAPD's Metropolitan Detention Center on $60,000 bail before bonding out. Now, it appears Neo was asked questions in the Rivas case. Multiple witnesses have already testified. TMZ previously reported David is likely to be charged with Celeste's murder, and LAPD homicide detectives have ID'd a second suspect who may have been involved before, during, and after her death, which, now we know that wouldn't be Neo, so it is what it is. But let's continue on with this crazy shit. There's a couple of things, right? The fact that he wasn't up there for days, to me, means a couple of things. He didn't give them what they wanted. If anything, he might have actually helped David. Wait. Nah, Nash, that can't be right. That can't be right. He helped David 30, 40 minutes. How do we know he didn't just say, the fifth? I plead the fifth. Because had he pled the fifth, they would have kept his ass in jail until this fake mock trial is over. So that's how you know he didn't plead the fifth. Had he pled the fifth, y'all remember in the YSL trial with Lil Woody, right? When Lil Woody said, ma'am, I'm here. I'm an adult. I plead the fifth. After that, what was the threats against Lil Woody? What did Judge Glanville say? I can hold you until this trial actually freaking ends, which means no, not when Young Thug and them ultimately plead out. No, we talking about the Brisses of the world, Chris Eppingers of the world and all the other cats until the whole entire thing is done. And that's why I believe, based off of that logic, that boy went in there talking. But Nash, why do you think he ultimately helped David? Because I believe in my thoughts that if you were there helping out, if I asked you, hey, on January 21st, 2020, you were doing this, and you were to answer simply, I was at home sleep. That's a short answer. But what if I said January 21st, 2020, well, whatever date I just said, January 25th, 2020, what were you doing at home? You say, well, I got up, I walked to my closet, I opened it up, and I noticed moths started flying everywhere. And so I decided that I was going to go get my fly swatter and chase down all the moths. And then I turned around only to notice that my couch looked more comfortable than my bed. Then I got nostalgic and said, I'm going to sit here and watch Digimon. Let me get a bowl of cereal. And so I watched cartoons for about 3 hours that day. And after I watched cartoons for 3 hours that day, I started to stretch. And boy, was I old, because all sorts of things started cracking, from my toe caps to my knee caps to my elbow caps. And so I would believe that if he was in there with verbose answers, it probably would have lasted 2 to 3 hours. So Nash, do you believe that it's possible that he threw David up under the bus? Under that logic, I can see that. Under the same logic I just used, simple, to the point. They could have went in there simple, to the point. They've been in there since November, bro. November. It is February, December, January, November. 3 months. They've been in there 3 freaking months. Questioning this youngin' about all sorts of shit that he more than likely knows a lot about, but don't got heavy details. Because let's say he wasn't even there. Meaning he wasn't really there the whole entire time. He could have all sorts of alibis and all sorts of things. Or maybe their primary focus isn't even him. It's only to essentially set up that there is a relationship between David and between Celeste. Maybe then they're only asking him about certain things because they know there's no immediate arrest that's going to happen to him. So they don't want to let out every single thing because they already told us already. FaceTime, we can't record those calls. So maybe they didn't lay it all out because they couldn't, because they feared that he was going to get back on there and start telling, meaning that phone, and start telling David what to look forward to, what to talk about, and any of this shit. The court can tell you all day, hey, don't you dare go to David and tell him anything about this shit because you can't. We tell you not to under court order. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds real good in the hypothetical end. But in all actuality, one of the first FaceTimes he's going to have to make is to David to let them know or let him know about certain shit. Because that's what boyfriends do, I guess. Or homies or whatever the hell. I don't know if they was boyfriend and boyfriend, bro. And at this point in time, I think that's just headline talk. But even if it's true, I mean, shit. Have you seen David? I don't know what the hell he is. But nah, on a serious note, bro, I don't think he went in there and threw David under the bus. I believe if they did ask him questions, it was basically to set up a timeline, and that's it. To ask him about certain shit, of course, to see if he was involved in certain things. But other than that, there's no way. Excuse me. He went in there with his lawyer. He went out of there with his lawyer. They didn't know the game. So it is what it is. But y'all, let me know y'all thoughts on this one. Are y'all agreeing with the theory that I have? Or are y'all probably more sinister saying 30, 40 minutes? That's a whole time to tell. That's a whole long time to tell a whole lot of shit. Nash, you could be far off on this one. And here's my theory. And let your theory's fine. That's perfectly fine. It is what it is. But y'all, let me know y'all thoughts on this one. Click right here, though, to keep up with that little Dirk shit. Because the feds just got... kicked in their goddamn files, being caught in line. Crazy shit. Or click right here for the playlist and I'll catch you on the next one. Reload it!